So let's say you're a marketer and your boss comes to you and says, we will need 100 new clients by the end of the year or the end of the month. And here you have 10,000 euros or dollars to make it work. How do you come up with a plan? You might have some ideas already of what channels to use, of what products to buy, but let's only focus on the channels for now. But how do you make your decisions? How do you divide your budget? Let me get you through it. So you might recognize this as an AIDA funnel, which is used in sales theories. So you have awareness, interest, desire, and action. And action, here you see the goal is 100 clients. The action part is here. By the way, can I point it to you? The action part is where it happens, but you don't get to the action part right away. People will need to create the awareness first and the interest desire before they will become your client. So let's take one small and quick step back to the AIDA model. So you might want to use different types of channels per level, of course. This is what we call a funnel, a basic funnel. Now, well, the AIDA model is about 70 years old, but it's still accurate, actually. There is some critics on it because it doesn't have retention in it. And in the more frequent years, we have seen that retention is a very important step in marketing, very efficient as well. But still, let's focus on this AIDA funnel to create some sort of a start. So there are lots of different models and theories, but still based on that AIDA funnel. So this is why I still use AIDA, because it's the basics. And let's always go back to essence, right, in marketing. So let me take you through this because I made a calculation for you. Here you see here that the goal here is to create 100 new customers. That's your end goal. That's in the action level. Okay. And we're going to calculate it backwards because in the end, I will show you, you will need a reach of about 800,000 people in order to get those 100 clients. Now, let me explain it to you. So in this is a service-oriented company and they have a sales department. So we might want to have leads in order so we can call them. And I looked up the average conversion rates. Well, here it says for sales calls, as you can see, it says the average conversion rate of a sales call is 10 to 30%, depending on how good your sales colleague is. It might be telemarketing or something like that. It also might be emails, but let's stick to the sales calls and let's say 20% of them is a hit. That means you need to call 500 people in order to get 100 clients, right? So a logical step. The same goes for the step before, the interest phase in the AIDA model. So people will go to your website in order to download something or do something in which they will leave you their contact information because you need their contact information to actually call them, right? Or email them, but let's say call. So we need 500 people that have downloaded something and also left their email address or phone number. And in order to have 500 downloads, the conversion rate on websites for that is about 2 to 5%. Let's say we need 10,000 visitors of your website. And now we can calculate back. So how do we get visitors on your website? People don't just wake up and think, I might visit that website today. I've never done that before. Might be interesting. No, they need a trigger. And this is where your most difficult decisions come forward, right? As a marketer, because this is where the money is. Your website, you've already built it. Your sales colleague comes from another part of the budget cuts in your company. But this is where you have a role, right? As a marketer, what channels are you going to choose in order to create at the end of this funnel your 100 customers? So we already said we need 10,000 visitors of the website in order to get the 100 clients. 10,000 visitors of your website means 10,000 clicks in your actual campaign. This is a campaign I set up with 6 different channels. I'll explain them to you shortly. And here in this frame, actually, I have a bigger image to show you. Oh, now you don't see me at all, but maybe that's a relief. So in this column, you will see that you will need 10,000, it's up here, you will need 10,000 clicks. You needed 10,000 visitors to your website, right? And now I've chosen a few channels like SEA, Google advertising. It has an expected click-through rate of, well, usually it's from 3 to 6%, but let's say 5% click-through rate expected, which will cost you about 6,000 euros. So for 6,000 euros or about dollars, you will have about 4,000 clicks to your website. Of course, you can choose to level this up and leave all the other channels behind, but now it's interesting to make to look at the different channels so you can make your choices. So the other channels I used are social ads, Meta. This has an expected click-through rate of 1%. It will cost you about 1,600 euros to reach. To reach actually 200,000 people, and of those 200,000 people with your expected click-through rate of 1%, you will have 2,000 clicks to your website. So it might be cheaper in this case to actually double on your budget of the Meta ads. So you have 4,000 clicks to your website and you will spend 3,200 euros because your cost per lead is lower for the Meta in this example than your cost per lead for Google advertising, right? Now, there's also social organic, which is, well, we can call it free if we don't look at the hours we need to create the content, etc. But let's say it's free, but it has a low click-through rate. And you cannot just, well, you have a limited reach because that's the amount of followers you have. So you cannot just post 5 things a day because they will actually unfollow you if you post too much. So all these channels have their pros and cons, and that's why you need the ideal mix. And this is where you come in as a marketer. You need to understand the demands of your target group, and you need to understand how to reach them. So I also looked at email. Are they warm leads? Are they cold leads? Of course, then the click-through rate differs. And I also added local radio in this example. Can you see it? Quite expensive, actually. So that's why I kept it in, because it will take up all of your 10,000 budget, and you then only have reached 300,000 people. So in this example, you will exceed your budget of 10,000 euros. You will actually need 17,800 euros, and you will need a reach of more than 800,000 people in order to get 10,000 of clicks. So you can optimize this combination of channels, of course, to get it done with a lower budget. And for that, that's why I put the cost per lead in. So you can make a good way in what channels to use. Of course, this differs per type of product, per type of business, etc. But if you've done that, then in the end, you will reach your 100 customers. And this is a better way of looking at it than just saying, okay, 100 customers, let's send an email. No, we need to calculate because, again, what is the difference between a good and a bad marketer? It's the numbers. It's the research. You do everything data-based. So this is the calculation you will use before you start spending your budget. You want to see, what is my reach? What does it cost me? What is my expected conversion? Good luck in your own calculations, and let me see what limitations you see to this calculation and how you do this and where it helps you. I'm keen to find out. Thank you.